Okay, so this is try number 3 for Tech Talk. How can I be on Tech Talk earlier with no problems at all? And every time I try to meet with Anita, we just can't get connected. So I apologize. If this for some reason doesn't come on, I'm going to go ahead just like I did last time and continue on a Tech Talk and just wing it. But so apologize. I thought maybe this would be try number 3. Facebook did send me a thing that it wanted to close the app. So I think there really is something kind of going on. And so I apologize. Again, this is just how it goes some days, huh? We got to wing it and have fun. So our special guest today on this Tech Talk is Anita Hug Jones. And as soon as I can get, hi Teresa. I know, isn't this crazy? How can I go flawless without any issues and then all of a sudden it does it again? I wonder if this is like, it's noon here. I wonder if like the internet just gets saturated with all the people trying to check messages at noon and it just creates this issue. I don't know. I know, Kelly, 3rd time's a charm. I really, really hope so because I really want to introduce you guys to Anita. I have gotten to talk with her so much over the last few weeks. Her knowledge is impeccable. Okay, so it's saying that she's on. Let's try this again. And yes, my clients spoil me so much. But they always say that I spoil them, but I really think that that's not the case. Okay, Anita, I sent you an invite. I really hope that does it. I've restarted my phone, everything, just to make sure that everything is connected good on my end. Hi, Sue. Hi, Joanne. I know.
Oh my gosh! Over here?
Finally! Patience, patience, patience. Are we not always in this industry having to learn patience every day?
Well, hello, everyone. I'm real.
Hi, Anita. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being patient. So 3rd time is the charm. Hopefully we won't have any other issues. I just did a Tech Talk, no issues.
I know. It's, there's got to be something out here. I mean, it's not even freezing cold. It's a high 39 today. So we've been 17 below. So
Oh my gosh.
it's ridiculous. I don't even know why there's no reason. There's no reason
Yeah.
for this.
Well, we're connected now. So everybody, finally, this is Anita Hug Jones. She has been in our industry for over 20 years. I call her a global nail star. She is exactly that. She is known internationally. She's competed. She has had her own business. She's been educators for so many lines, and she's just gone back with Tony Cuccio with the Cuccio brand because she's following her beliefs. I love that you're real, you're knowledgeable, and you are that perfect go-to person in our industry. So welcome to Tech Talk Live.
Oh my God, you make me sound amazing. I want to know that girl.
You are amazing, and I'm glad I get to know you. So let's go all the way to the beginning. How did you become a nail tech in the industry?
Nail tech. Well, I basically went to Alfred University, which did a summer program for hair, and I had a very neurotic boss that we weren't just allowed to quote be girls right out of school. So he sent us away for a week for this, and you had to go every 4 years and graduate and become an alumni, and then you could teach on this guild member. It was a very the system was really cool. I just kind of fell into going into the nail room. I wasn't supposed to. I'm like, I'm going to go check it out. And Kamoris, the head of OPI, was there, and I fell in love. And we started doing nails, and she started doing acrylic, and she was like, oh, well, you should be a nail tech. I'm like, really? Take a ball, plop it on, try to get it on there. It gets hard, and I have to file it down? No. This is not for me. So she said, meet me in my room, and I spent the night with her and the rest of the morning, and I'm like, she's like, I want to mentor you. You have a gift. You're giving up. I'm like, really? And then that's what kind of started it. And I started with fiberglass nails and then inched my way into all of the different products and kind of danced around with all the different companies, and then started with Coochie or Star Nail back in the day, and then ended up with let's see. I just like to join many families. So I went to Creative, I went to Young Nail, I went to Easy Flow. I mean, I kind of got to know them all. So
Yeah.
it's a great industry. We get to do that.
You know, I always say that we need to have the rule of three on products, that when we want to specialize and we want to master a product, we have to at least try three products side to side and get to master that one product that works the best for us, that has the
Correct.
right set time for us, it has, you know, the right brush and all of that. And so you just did the rule of three. You just expanded it a little bit farther and became a master tech with all these different companies. And so we get to tap on into your knowledge today because you are one of the most knowledgeable techs that I've ever met of
Oh,
knowing the products. And so all of you that are watching, use Anita today. Use
yeah.
her brain and tap into it because that's why she's joining us today. And so Sue says, "Oh my God, fiberglass. That's what I first started using too." And so I just did a live with Sue Johnson. If you guys just saw that, she's a mobile tech and she had so much amazing knowledge to share with us as well. And so Anita, let's get started. So
Sure.
fiberglass, acrylic, gel polish, dipping systems, all of the stuff that is out there. I don't even know where to begin. It's all evolved though from one thing. You know, it seemed like it always started with acrylic and then it's evolved through. What? Just
It's
fill your
interesting.
brain.
I had a really phenomenal talk with Mr. Cuccio. Um, I can't call him nicknames on here, can I?
Yes, you
But
can.
and we were going through this whole relationship of products and where it started, and you know why were we as the U.S. so behind with getting in acrylic in our area? Because UK had been doing acrylic for close to 15 years before we could do it. And, you know, the problem with them was that they needed to be odorless because everybody's kind of on top of each other when you're in Europe. Where here, you know, I'm a salon and on top of me is not a restaurant or vice versa. But in London, you know, all the little houses are kind of on top of each other.
Yeah.
So they had to be odorless. So I think that's where all of this kind of stemmed into getting away from the monomers, getting away from the odors. Then we went into odorless acrylic. And then, you know, it just went into all of these zones. And then we started tapping into gel because it was odorless. And I think that's where, so if I were to bulk things up into a family, it's kind of, the family would be odorless. And what sits in odorless? Fiberglass, gel, hard gel, veneer polishes, you know, dipping, we're all in an odorless family. Then you can go into the odor family, and that's where we stick into acrylic, and then we can break down acrylics in different families. So I
Right.
think we now, the next decade and on, I think we are in an odorless. I see acrylic coming off of the market. I don't see us, you know, being, you know, tech oriented, being whether it's our respiratory, and just, you know, carpal tunnel with the filing. You know, there's just so many things that are changing that are
Mhm.
better for us,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just the customer. You know, we are people too and have families, so we need to take care of us, which technicians don't take care of themselves. So it's nice to have family products that are good for us, you know, too.
Yeah. Yeah. And part of the Cuccio brand is the naturals and the organics and stuff like that. And so I can see why you, after all these years, kind of went back to what he had going on, is because that is where a lot of the market is going to, is the organic, the odorless, easy too. I mean, the
Right.
products are easy to work with.
Yeah, and probably the one thing that I love, and I guess that's what I found as an educator, you know, work with the products, get to know them. But for me, I went one step further. I needed a manufacturer that I fell in love with, that A, was international, and that had not just one line. If I were to rip through everything that Cuccio has, our book, to be honest with you, our product book, which, lucky for me, I have it right here. This is all, sorry, upside down, sorry. This is our product book, and you can see how thick it is.
Wow.
This is all that we carry. And to be honest with you, we're still missing probably 30 items out of this book. So we're just everything. And I think I like working with everything. So, you come to me and say, I want to do odorless acrylic. Okay, boom, I have that. You want to do gel? I have that. Hard gel, veneer. It's everything.
Yeah. A go-to company. That's great. Yeah. So when we talked before, you talked about kind of how you set yourself apart. You didn't even know you were setting yourself apart. You went into a room just as yourself, and you talk about you were in a blue business suit in your briefcase. So if you could recall that story. So I think you should share that, because so many of us, we don't know how to impress, but sometimes you have to go back to the basics of that dress to impress, especially when you're meeting with, industry leaders and you want to continue on. You can stand out in a room by being you, and that's what you did. Yeah.
I think the number one thing that I teach motivation, and I teach how to get you to where you need to be. It's one of my favorite things I love to teach. And one of the things that I always say to everybody, dress to where you're going to be, not to where you are. So I always wanted to be very involved with a company where I was part of a team, and I knew I was going to do things in this industry. I just didn't know what it was at the time, but I knew I was going to have a role more than just somebody that sat behind her desk. I wanted to be that person. So yes, I walked in with a blue suit, maroon briefcase, business blue suit. Nobody in our industry wears a suit ever, except me. But it did. It worked for me. I got to meet Tony, and I remember hearing him when he came to my little town saying, "Who's that chick?" And I'm like, oh. And I remember not feeling embarrassed that I stood out wearing my suit anymore, being like, oh, okay, it worked. I stood out. So, and then he kind of, asked me behind the scenes. He's like, I really want to talk to you after the class. And we chit-chatted, and he basically, I was asking me questions, and I was very bold. And with that, I ended up getting a job with him, and he didn't even see my skills yet. And he'll tell you this, he bought my personality. He bought my outgoingness.
Yes. But that's what we're selling as techs when we first meet people. If they have not already seen our profile somewhere, like at your Facebook business page or anything like that, what they're seeing is us. Right. And if they see that our hygiene is good, they see that our nails look good, and stuff like that, they buy into us first. Right. And and our personality. And then from there, there's a trust that's built. And then from there, there's a clientele, there's a relationship that's built. And I just like that story every time that I hear it, because it's so true that we don't want to stand out, but yet we want to be that top person, and we don't want to be the highlight, but yet we want to be the highlight. And you just have to, it's an all-encompassing part of us, and we have to showcase our best self.
Right.
Yay. So
you just gotta find your little. I say this all the time. You gotta find your little spot. I'm trying to get this. Maybe. Ooh. You just gotta find. Ooh, is that too bright? Find a spot that kind of works. Where am I glaring?
It just looks like you have a beautiful glowing halo.
Do you see this? I've got neon lights behind me. I am an angel.
Yeah, you're on that spotlight.
In my own world here.
Oh, I love it. So Teresa wants to know where you're located.
I'm in upstate New York, the capital region, to be honest. But I'm welcomed anywhere. Like, so if you're looking for anything or need knowledge on anywhere, you all can, hit me up after, inbox me. um, I'm available. If I'm not back to you soon, it could be that I'm traveling or that I'm, doing other things, but I'm available. Please, I wish somebody said this to me years ago, use and abuse me, but if there's anything I can do, I'm willing to do it. And
Yeah.
when you go to my website, this is one of the giveaways. This is a master gel kit that I love.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorites. So if you go to beautybizsupplyhouse.com, put your name in. I'm going to be picking some names. Or we can, if you leave some comments here in the list below and put Cuccio, we're going to be picking. I'm giving away 4 of these today.
Nice. Very, very nice.
Also, for people who are watching later, so those won't get excluded if they're not on this hour. So this is one of them, and this is a master kit. And in this master kit, you get 3 big, large gels, and you get your prep, your finishing white. And this is a complete kit, which you could actually get probably about 100 sets out of this little giveaway.
Wow.
So this is
That's
a whole
awesome.
gel thing if you wanted to talk about gel.
Yeah. So I'm going to get on my computer so that I can start typing in Cuccio because I want to win that too.
Well, I'm going to give you one. How's that?
Well, hey, I'll take it. So let's see. There's all kinds of questions already.
Sure.
So I'm just going to come back up to here.
Right away.
So Isabella wants to know. She wants to know that like from a Acrogel, which is also a product for that you guys have, and to Polygel. And so she just kind of wants to know the difference of some of those.
Okay. So our Acrogel is like a calcium type based gel. It's the Echo Gel is the soak off gel. So you're going to find, and I can't give it away, but I'm going to give away a big secret here. Within 3 months, we are launching a new gel that is going to be a game changer. It is going to rock your world. It's on its way for me to play with. It's going to be here in April. It is absolutely amazing. We've got something that I think every technician kind of plays with, wants, and now we have it.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
coming.
Oh,
Good stuff
so
coming.
exciting. Yes.
And if there's any Cuccio products that you guys want, jot down your name in this little list, and then I'll be also giving away like coupons for 20% off. So I'm going to be doing a lot of little things. So all you just keep writing your stuff down, and then I'll keep giving things away.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for giving us the extra opportunity to play as well. So I'm trying to go through all these questions. There's so many so fast. I don't know if you can see them all. So it's from Sue to Louise. They always said, nothing sexier than a woman in a suit. And, there is something about that where we can put ourselves together and put a little makeup on, a little rouge on, smell good, and we will stand out just being us.
I think one of the things I want to say is don't be afraid. I remember so I was probably in the business I would say I was in the business maybe 5 years, and I was at IBS New York, and IBS in New York is very crazy, and I wasn't really with any company yet, and I remember standing there with one of my technicians, and I'm like, oh, there's Jan Arnold, and the girl who worked for me, she goes, you're not going to get to meet her. I go, like, shit, I'm not. And I stood there, and I'm like, I'm going to introduce myself to her, and she was in the middle of this big conversation with this guy, and she's talking to him, and I'm like, I feel the same exact way. And I stuck my hand out and go, I'm Anita. And she's like, who? I go, I'm Anita Hug. Don't you want a hug? And she's like, okay. And I got in this conversation, and Amy, I kid you not, within a week, she flew me down to California, and I spent 3 days with her. So my biggest thing is don't be afraid. Go up to somebody. When you have that passion, it explodes out of you. Like, that's why I love newbies. You guys just have something. I always say this. Whenever someone says, oh, there's a new nail tech on board, I'm like, hey, you never know. you just never know what they can do. They are mind blowing.
Yeah.
So just because you're a newbie or a veteran, it doesn't matter, you know.
One of the things that you told me is that you love the passion that a lot of the newbies have because there's so many products for them to decide on and that they're good about sticking with product lines. As those veterans of us, we started with one product and sometimes we're still using the same product all these years
Right,
later. That they
right,
kind of get scared to branch out and play and try new things. And so when you mentioned that about the newbie, people in the industry, they have every product right now to choose from, and it's still
right,
innovative and
right.
changing. And so it is hard to narrow down and specialize into one because there's so many options, and they're all fun. I
They are.
really enjoy.
They are.
Yes.
And I can't knock any products. I've played with every single one of them. Once you get to the level of being in the industry so long, you kind of understand the family behind how product comes about. Everyone's like, oh, well, there's C and D, acrylic. Well, guess what? C and D makes 6 different acrylic lines. You guys just don't know that. So once you learn probably my new thing I would tell any newbie is become an educator. Get to become an educator. Get linked up with a company that is your best education next to competing. There's competing and there's working for a company. Those are probably my two big things. Or find someone that you can, like me, and you can just dig your claws into and suck all the information out of them. It will take you somewhere. It'll take you somewhere every single time. You
Yeah.
know,
So Gail wants to know how. She wants to know, how do you become an educator?
Depending on which line you're looking at. So let's talk about the lines that I do know. With Cuccio, you can either, get a hold of me and tell me where you are, what distributor is in your area. Once we get to know each other, then we can find out where we would place you if we need an educator in that area. I also work for Reveal, which is my next giveaway. We are giving away this beautiful. Hold on, I got to get the bow because I love the bow to this little kit I made. Look at that. Oh, can you see how shiny this is?
Yes. It
So
looks
cool.
very sweet, like a high-end, elegant packaging.
Yes, and I made it, and I was showing the owner. I'm like, look how blingy this is. Can you see
I
it?
love it. It's sparkling.
I'm
I
all
want
about
that
the
too.
glitter. So I didn't like their kit, so I made another one for you guys. This is another giveaway. This is Reveal Dipping Powder, which is my fave. And this is all glittered out.
Yes.
So you
Oh,
just have
how
to
fun.
reveal, and I can, here, maybe if I
So
put up a,
explain a little bit what Reveal is, because it's a,
can you
a
see
dipping
it?
system, correct?
Better? Let me show you.
Yes.
It's hard to see. Is that
Ooh,
better?
that's
There we go.
beautiful. Yeah,
So
absolutely
Reveal
beautiful.
is our dipping powder that I now um, am a distributor for, and basically we are in a we are definitely in a dipping world right now.
Yeah,
I
it's
think right
changing.
now acrylic is coming off the market, and we are now into dipping. And dipping basically is a polymer with a resin that makes it hard.
Mhm.
So, um, kind of in the gel family, but it's on a thinner viscosity, so it sets up.
Yeah.
And with what's beautiful about dip is you can add as many layers as you want to make it super thin to, like my nails are, I don't know if you can see my little C curve here. These are
Yeah.
all completely done with my dip. It's hard to
Very
see.
beautiful. Yeah.
And I did them myself, so they're a little off. But you can see how I built my little arch out here, and that's with dip. So people say, "Oh, you can't do that." You can. Um, I love
Yeah.
it. I mean, I've been doing nails for 30 years, and I between this and gel, I've kind of like let go of all my acrylic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, and
So I've told you this, and if anybody's done any of my workshops and stuff, you know that I I dabbled around too. So I'm using a gel polish with an acrylic and call it the genre technique. And it's fun to be able to play with. I'm not mixing products where it's going to create a chemical reaction on somebody. So just watch out that when you are
Right,
playing with products,
right,
play with your products smart.
right,
But to turn back into the question, it wants to know how you become an educator. And there's lots of different companies out there. I
right,
know just recently Helen Zing was on with Miss You, and to become an educator in her line, you actually do kind of a nail competition. And they go through and critique you and all of that. And then
right,
once you pass these levels, then you become a distributor and educator for her as well. Young Nails, you can apply through their website. I mean, so contact companies, give them your story and
right,
let them believe in you. Stand out a little bit. Tell what's unique about you and why
right.
you want to be an educator for their company. And there might be some tests that you have to go through or even fly out there to kind of prove yourself. But isn't that part of the fun of doing
Right.
all of it? And if
Absolutely.
you're going to be an educator, you're going to have to travel and you're going to have
Yeah,
to put yourself out there. So just know that that personality part of you needs to shine and
right.
go to the next step.
Yeah, and being an
Teresa,
educator is not as glorious as one thinks. I mean, you get phenomenal education, but when you come out there to be an educator, you have to remember one thing: you're educating. So, it's kind of a flip from like the competition scene where you don't tell any of your secrets because God forbid someone's going to do your smiley your way. They're not. I mean, I've trained with all of these guys and they all gave me their secrets. Guess what? I can't do a nail like Tom Holcomb. God rest in peace. I can't. I
yeah.
can't do a nail like Tom Holcomb. I can't do a nail like Tom Bachek. I can't do a nail like Trang, but I have exactly how they did it. So I can teach you exactly how I do it. Doesn't mean you're going to do it. So
Right.
education is giving your secrets. It's giving your tips. It's giving all of the stuff that you messed up in, found the way, and then shared it.
Right.
And that
Correct.
comes back in a whole, God provides for all those type of things. So things do happen when you get to that level of giving. So
Yes.
there's wonderful things that happen with education, but there's shows. You're used for many levels. You could be working at a beauty show. You could be working at a school. You could be doing demos at a beauty supply house. I mean, there's so many levels. You just never know where we're going to place you, or we might fly you to headquarters like I did, and I got to sit with Doug Schoon for 2 days in his lab and talk to some crazy chemist about all these things. And I was like, oh my God, somebody pitch me. Where am I? So you just don't know.
Yeah.
There's so many things that can happen.
Yeah. So once again, there's still so many questions. And guys, we will go back through this live after when it's done and we will answer all these questions. And so I appreciate you're active and this is what we need and that helps with our giveaways as well. So to tie in what you just said is you met with Doug Schoon and you one thing that you were talking with me about is the difference of resins, how they go
Yeah.
from the resin all the way into the hard gel. Can you share a little bit of and educate us of what these differences are, even though they're the same base?
So yeah, okay. So let's start with gel polish, for instance. So gel polish is a very thin viscosity of gel because it's a gel based, but it's on the if you would take a scale, it's kind of always it's down here on say 0 to 5, it's down here. Where you take hard gel and it's all the way over here and it's non-soakable, it can't soak it off. Where this you can soak off. So in that degree of gels, you've got your base coat as your veneers, your gel polishes, and then you kind of step into the next phase where we're going into um, like your dipping powder because now we're going to hit into like resin. So it still soaks off. It's in that same category, so that same family, but it's a little bit more durable. So we're moving up the scale. So now you're adding polymer to it. So now when you add the polymer to it, you're now hitting into an acrylic base, but we're still able to soak it off really quick. So then when you get into like you're coming down over here into the jelly part where we're getting into hard gels, now that doesn't soak off. right?
Yeah.
Or we have gels that do soak off, but then we go to hard gels, and hard gels don't soak off. But now
Yeah.
we're in this new era where we're making hard gels that do soak off. So this is where we're in a whole new category. Where before, when I did my gels back with IBD, it didn't soak off. It was there. Now we've got Eco Gel that soaks off. We've got Calcium Gel that soaks off. So, and now our next product that's going to be launching is in this whole other family that's going to rock all of this. So,
Yeah. Oh,
um,
good.
but it's when you start playing with your products, you can understand, and I think that's what becoming an educator is so great. If they make, like, especially with Cuccio, I had to do a 3-day seminar. They basically go through every single product, and you have to memorize it. You go to lunch, you come back, and there's a test on the table, and you have to pass that test. And you
Yeah.
need to know ingredients. So when you start learning ingredients and what product is all about, that's when you can play because you really get it. That's why you're able to take your base coat, sprinkle on your polymers, and you've got your nice little system that you like because you understand product. You understand the chemistry of what you are working with. If
Yeah.
I tell people to take the resin and start playing with it, I mean, you can actually burn yourself with resin. So you got to understand what you're
Right.
playing with and know
Yeah.
your product, know your company, know it well.
Yeah.
You have to
And
research.
just stick with one line because so many times they'll use the resin of one and use acrylic powder of another. And one of the questions on here earlier is they wanted to know if the dip systems was the same as acrylic powder. And so
Yeah,
if you want to tie into
yeah,
that as well.
absolutely. I know everybody thinks it's the same, and yes, chemically it is. It is still a polymer based powder that we used for acrylics. But when we go into the dipping, if you were to take your acrylic powder and look at right and take the two jars and compare it, your dipping powder is finer. It's almost been triple sifted, so it is like dust. And that's why you can blow on it and it goes all over the where if you take your acrylic powder, it doesn't do that. It's much, much heavier. So it's a finer, finer,
Yeah.
fluffier, dust-like powder with color in it.
Yeah.
So they
Which,
are different.
yeah, which allows it to soak into the resin a lot
Right,
faster. So therefore you can get the strength in that. And that's why it
correct,
is set that way.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I have learned that I am tired of chasing colors. So I even though there's so many dip colors out there, to be able to file them back off or soak them back off just takes a long time. So I set everything up in clear and then do all my art using all the colored powders on top of that. And so that way when they come back in for their fill, it makes it so much easier.
And I gotta tell you, that's one of my biggest tricks too, especially if you know somebody's always like, I have girls that, I mean, I could never, might never, never be the girl that can wear the same color for, let alone 2 times. I've got clients that wear the same color for 6 months to 2 years. Oh my God, really? Like, I feel
Yeah.
pained by that. They're the ones put a clear down and do exactly what you're saying. Use your clear
Yeah.
as your base, your builder, and then throw your color on top. They're not
Yeah.
changing. Me, I need to change. So that would never work with me. I couldn't live in a one colored world.
Me neither. And I don't usually branch out and go too crazy, but I can say I do like to change it every time. I don't want to do the same old. Oh my goodness. I don't even know where else to begin. On here, you told me your motto is hand in hand. And I know that we kind of touched into that already a little bit, but do you want to talk a little bit about that as well?
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of my spiritual background too. I find in this industry we're constantly, at least when I was competing, I was working with Odyssey Nail System, and we were the first quote quote Olympic nail team that came out. We were the first ones, and I was blessed enough to be on that team, even though I was the weakest link. And I joked about it all the time because I was such a newbie, and I learned that I became really strong by holding somebody else's hand, whether it was with Trang or whether it was the girl that I competed with, whether it was, my, Vicky Peters or whoever, or Cindy from Nail Pro, like all of these people, like we have to build these positive relationships instead of knocking companies down and knocking each other. There's so much we learn from each other. So that's where I go with that, hand in hand. Education and product hand in hand, technicians with other technicians hand in hand, my client and me hand in hand, and above all, always have your hands on God. At least try.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah.
but that's been my motto, because everything in this industry comes full circle. I started with Tony when I was 16. I left. I went to 5 or 6 different companies. I'm now back in my 40s, and I'm right back there again. So,
Yeah.
always keep that healthy relationship with every single person you touch, because in this industry, you have no idea where it's going to lead you.
Absolutely.
You really have no clue. I mean, I would have never thought that half of these people would have led me to where I am today.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And we learn so much from each other when we do that.
we do.
I can't stress enough how much, like even the Nail Tech Network, this group that we're a part of here, how much we can give to each other more than what we've learned from any educator, learn more than what we learned from any book and all of that. That networking, we can rise above and learn even more. And so
Absolutely.
you just inspire me so much. I love it.
Aw.
Love,
Um,
love it.
and I think, just find, I think the one thing too is find the person that um, can be bluntly honest with you. Like, I think that's the one thing I love about Tony Cuccio so much. Like, um, he's just so brutally honest with me. Like, I will come to him and be like, and I'll say something like, "What the hell were you thinking?" I'm like, "I have no idea. That's why I'm running it by you." Or I'll say, I ran an idea by him Sunday, and he's like, "No." He's like, "Think about that for a minute." I'm like, "Oh yeah," and I like that. I like when somebody can be that honest and not pretend even to try to hurt my feelings. Like, no,
Yeah.
stupid, what were you thinking? Or um, think that through a little bit, or find that one person too that you trust that says, Anita, if you do this, you might get to this level. So I think
Right.
that's, you've got to find that person that you really, and I gotta say, I have that with 2 people, like Fawn from Lavelle now, I have to say, is probably um mm, back to my deal.
That's right. It's a giveaway.
Um, he is my. You'll never meet a sweeter, kinder human being. That is, his customer service is impeccable. You have a problem with any one of his products, you just call headquarters, and boom, within 2 days, it's at your door. I mean, I've tested it myself because I didn't believe it. I said one of my liquids got hard, and 2 days to the day, I actually had a package of Pro Base sitting on my door. So there are things that you'll learn. Habib and Greg, my God, their knowledge on just nails, and the show that they do. My God, I mean, who likes to see 2 crazy brothers go at it? I do, I do. You learn so much from them. So there's so much to learn from so many of these people. Find the one that you like. I love those 2 men. I love Fawn. I love Tony. They're just real people for me. I
Yeah.
like that. That's what works for me.
Yeah. So Wanda wants to know, does Cuccio offer training classes in the United States?
We do. We have one. I know Wanda. We've talked before. Wanda's in school, so I think for you, um, your best bet to get some education would be try to get to one of the international shows. Whether I'll be at IBS New York, come see me there. Um, you can get to the Chicago show, Long Beach. I mean, open up the back of your nail magazine and they give you a list of where all the big shows are. That's a great place. Get a hold of your local distributor and see what they have. And it's kind of a joke because we really don't have a lot of nail education. in the distributors, unfortunately, um, until there's distributors like me who believe in doing talks with Amy to get
Yeah,
more knowledge out there. That's a great way to start because you can meet top educators at these shows. Most of the time, the owners are there. So if you want to be an educator, get your butt to a show. Those
yeah.
shows are they're everything. They're so I leave there dizzy because there's so much I get out of there. I'm like, oh my God,
Yes,
um, so those are kind of some of the things I would recommend. Live and breathe and go to the shows. Those shows are dynamite. Dynamite.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So there's still so many questions. We're going to have to really go back through and answer so many. Um, from they love you, great advice. So I don't know if you can see the comments, but you're
Oh,
just being praised left and right, Anita, just as much as I
oh.
praise you. You just really are one of those souls and those great educators that we all wish that we had in our life. Um, so I want to ask a little bit. So you've been on the cover of Nail Pro magazine. You've been published. I can't even say how many times internationally in all the magazines. I actually am published in January's Nails magazine again. I was published 6 times last year, and
Woo!
just feel like finally I know it's one of those things that you don't know till you try, and then it seems
Right.
like once that tap is open, it's just endless. The opportunities are endless. You have to put yourself out there and share your work through social medias and on
Right.
their whatever it is.
Definitely.
So how did you get to the point where you started being published? Did you just go for it as well?
Here's
Ah,
another giveaway. It's a full dipping kit from Guccio.
love it. Okay, I want that one. Oh, that's wonderful. So okay, so let's share with these people. How are we going to do some of these giveaways?
So one of the things I was going to do is if you go to my website, which is Beauty Biz Supply House, I have a little link at the bottom where if you put your information and then I'm going to scroll through it. That way, no one who's not been live also gets a chance to get in it too. Also, you can leave comments here, and then I will, you know, get a hold of the owner and see how he wants to do it. I do know that he did say there are 4 of these going to be given away. I do know that there are 3 of these. Ooh, my light is so bad. That Fawn is going to be giving away. And then I have this beautiful dipping kit, which is on my desk as we speak. I love using. Um,
The biggest giveaways? All right, this is the
and
biggest
this is
giveaways.
probably my favorite. This is a Try Me kit. So this has
Yes.
a little bit of everything so you can try it so you're not feeling like, you're ready to break the bank, so to speak. I know that's one of the biggest things too that's scary is, setting up product when you don't know and it gets costly. So this is perfect. We will be giving a bunch of these away. I think he
Yeah.
said at least 10. The more people
Wow.
that tap onto this, the more he said he'd give away. Tony's got a very soft heart, and I know how to play that heart, so I will get more out of him.
So guys, remember she said you need to type Cuccio into the comments and join in on her page to be able to
And
get into these giveaways.
this is
Ooh.
I wish I had it open for you guys to see, but I'm giving this one away too. And this is a complete veneer kit with our classic red. And I want to talk about their gel polish because nothing excites me more than their gel polish. There are gel polish, and I say this all the time, are as if we're a family when my husband gets so mad. But yes, we are. Um, it's 100% gel polish. It is triple pigmented. So that means the first coat is going to be pure pigment. So your black on your first coat will be black. It won't be gray and see through. And it won't pull away. Sometimes when you cure it, you'll get this like white line at the end. This does not do this. Also, this product, and I can tell you, I have been in this industry too long, that it's the only gel polish that you can use the whole bottle from top to bottom. One of the companies that I don't like, you can only use half of it and it becomes hard.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, because people like it because it's in all of the magazines for the public to see, I have to stock that company. And I don't like to because it just doesn't work. And I tell people, I get it for you, but I don't like using it. It doesn't have good consistency. This has perfect consistency, so that's why it's one of my favorite. And if I showed you my shelf, you'd laugh because I have 400 colors.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I love the name too for the First Fresh kit.
I know. It's so cute.
Yeah. Oh, that's so wonderful. Okay, so back to how did you start getting published and make it all the way to the cover of the magazines as well?
I was competing, so that's probably another. Like if we get back to education, if you want to know where I find one of the best ways to get critiqued on your work and to learn more, A, is get into an arena. I don't care where you place because I didn't care at the time. I mean, the first time I competed in my area, I placed, ready? Dead last. Dead last, people. Bottom of the barrel. And I'll never forget Herman, who was a bigwig for creative back in the day, actually pulled me apart and he goes, "Can I speak to you?" I go, "The girl that plays dead last, really?" And he's like, "Absolutely. I need you on my team." I'm like, "Did you see my score?" I was dead last. What you talking about, dude? And he's like, "No, I really think you should become an educator." I'm like, "The chick who failed?" I mean, and he gave me 20 minutes of education of what I needed to perfect. I practiced it. And, next, you just never know. So it's not about where you place in a competition, but the critiquing that you get is mind blowing. No one will be that honest with you about
Yeah.
everything you need to know on structures of your nails. Um,
Yeah.
and that's, you get recognized. I mean, again, honestly, Amy, I did not place in the top five. I won competitions here and there, but I used to walk in the room like, "Oh, there's Tom Holcomb, there's first, there's Trank, second, there's Tom Basic, there's third. Okay, I'll take seventh. That's good for me. And it was just the way it was, and I was fine with that. But I placed seventh, and I gotta tell you, what I got just being where I was so much greater than getting a trophy.
Yeah.
Um, I got asked to be on the magazine, which I thought was just hilarious. I'm like, because I don't do nail art. I'm not an artist. I'm an educator at heart. I can probably tell you how to get there, but I can't do it. I admire it. I think it's beautiful. I love artistic work, but I'm a technical, structural, and teach you how to get there kind of girl.
Yeah.
Um, so you just don't need certain things to get on the cover. You don't. You just need to get yourself out there. That's
Mhm.
probably the biggest thing. Be bold, be flashy, you know, wear the business suit, do anything that you can that's you to stand out. Um,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So years ago, I used to compete when I first got licensed. So January's 26 years now that I've been doing nails full time. I mean, I've had a few little side things because I never thought nails was going to be my career. This was just something that was
fun.
going to be fun.
Yeah.
I was going to be a paramedic, and I made it through an EMT. I was at for 5 years, and I didn't like it. And I'd go to my salon, and my girls were laughing and drinking coffee, and had normal hours, and I really thought I was missing out. And
Right.
even I was making a difference as an EMT in people's lives. I honestly made more
Sorry.
of a
You
difference as a
there?
med tech. Yes. Oh,
Yep.
for a second. And so, I remember, oh gosh, I think it was in 2003, four, five, I don't know. And I went to a nail competition and I had never teamed up. I was confident what I was doing, but I'd never contacted a company and told them I was going to compete and asked for advice. I never had a mentor at the time that would help me go to the next level. And so I didn't realize until after quite a few competitions and not placing and just getting honorable mention or getting a participation award or something like that, that the people that were winning were a part of a team. They
Yes.
knew how to network, they knew
Yes.
the education, they knew their products.
Right.
And that's when I was like, wow, I don't know what I'm doing. However, every time that I got the judge sheet and I could meet with the judges, that was the best knowledge that I took with me. And you're
Right.
right, it was so worth it. And so
Right.
I can suggest for those of you who want to go to competitions and do that, contact the company that you want to use their product and tell them
Right.
you're competing. Use their educators to help you and join in on their teams. And
Because
like you know,
we'll give you
you
product. 9 out of 10 times we'll send you product and we'll
exactly.
give you tips. In every company, there's always somebody that's competed for that company. So there's always ways to say, okay, well, I'm going to put you in touch with so and so because she competed before and she's going to give you some tips.
Yeah, yeah,
So, but yeah,
yeah.
there's definitely reach out is probably my biggest. And don't be afraid because what are they going to say? No, or they'll just give you half the product and
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about product lines. They want you to use them
they
and
do.
they want you to win because if you
They
win, you reflect positive on them again. And so they want you to be your best. They want you. They want you. And so use them. That's
right.
what they're there for.
I think the other thing too, and use your distributor. I know we're in
Yeah.
this new world right now where you don't need to use your local distributor. Like my local distributor is Cosmoprof, and I don't use them at all. I have to be honest with you, at all. We're in a place now where we can use distributors. Like you can be where you are, Amy, and you can use me as your distributor, and I'm in New York. I'm going to give you more than your local distributor is going to give you. So find a distributor too that you really can work with. Pick up the phone, really get information out, learn from them. They can put you in touch with the right people too if you wanted to compete or become an educator. There's so many things that your distributor can do for you that are not doing for you today because
Yeah.
they're becoming too commercial. They're
Yeah.
becoming these big stores and they're really forgetting how to become what they were there for, which was giving tools and education to make our industry grow to a whole new level.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably one of the biggest things I want to change in my distributor and what I want to offer everybody is the ability, like if I don't have the answer, and I sometimes don't, I'm going to get it for you. I'm going to get in
Right.
contact with the right people that can get you that information. And if I can't provide you what you need, I have no problem saying I don't have it. Let's reach out to such and such company and get it for you. Because I don't have that ego. I'm not a cosmoprof. I don't need to do 5 million. I need to do 5 million in growing you. I think that's
Right.
where it's different.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's the thing. And the more you get a relationship with your distributor, the more you're going to get out of them. You buy from the same people over and over and over again. You're never going to pay what they do.
Right.
You're going to be a
Right.
VIP, so you're going to get different treatment. You're going to get better classes. I'm going to bring you to a show, and Amy, I'm going to put you in the front row. You know,
Right.
and after I'm going to say, you know what? I want Amy to come out and have a drink with Tony tonight. Well, you wouldn't get that opportunity if you didn't have that relationship with the person who is selling you and providing you all that. So
Right.
use your distributor. And if you don't have a distributor, I'd be glad to be your distributor. I am use me and abuse me. I am here to help.
So, just to kind of spill the beans a little bit, I talked with Anita yesterday and I told her yes, that I would ride along on her rainbow. And so I too am joining this Cuccio group, and I can tell you I'm so excited again to take another
Oh
turn
my
of
God,
something new and adventurous.
goosebumps.
And so, for those of you, I've only told my admin group, my husband, and all my clients yesterday. And so, I too am branching out and going to that next step and just taking the ride for what it is and just enjoying it along the way. So, I look forward to helping other people and educating them. I mean, I do what I can now, but now I feel like I'm going to be on the next level, like where you are, and be able to continue on doing this because I'm enjoying it. And we have the following. It's happening, so we're
Yeah.
doing something right.
Right. And that's
Yeah.
it. We're educating, which is different than, we're not selling you anything. We're trying to give you what you need.
Right, right. And it's that education and finding what products are best for you for the
Yeah.
type of services you want to give. Whether it's you want to do all natural, because we've talked so much about product, product, product,
Yep.
but the reality is there's so many techs out there that only do all natural. They only do manicures, pedicures, the pampering side of it, the spa side of it. And then there's those of us like me that specialize. I am the artist, so I like to do the art side and the glitter and all the added parts in there. And then there's some people that just specialize in competing. I mean,
Right.
you just got to find what it is that you want to be in and go for it.
Absolutely.
It's the beginning of the year when we set new goals. So set it as a goal and accomplish it this year.
Right. Build a relationship, and my big thing, get out there. What do you have? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Even if they say no to me, I can't tell you how many people said no to me. I'm like, you'll be sorry because you'll be calling me soon. And I I was acting as if I knew what I was talking about, and I didn't. I was young. I was 16. I knew nothing. But I didn't want them to know that because I was
Yeah.
going to be somebody someday, and just be you, be you, be you, and it'll get you everywhere. We love personality in our business, whether whatever it is, we love it, and it works, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
step out there.
And,
That's probably my big thing this year.
and
Step out there.
yes. And the main thing is, you got to decide. You don't have to decide now. I mean, I decided in the beginning I was gonna, follow through with this, and I'm gonna go ahead and make this the best short-term career. Here it's been all these years later, and it's a long-term career. But I decided I was just gonna concentrate on my salon and make it the number one salon, and make my techs the number one techs. And then sometimes your vision changes a little bit, and you're like, I
Well,
kind of want to get education, or I want to get into this. And so our branches continue to grow on those trees, and then our tree can be huge as much as we want it to bloom, we can. We're in
right.
control of that.
Yeah. And I
Oh,
say that too. We're lucky. We're in an industry where our tree trunk is nails, and I use that analogy all the time. But
me
you can
too.
pick your branch, whatever you want. My big thing was before I die, I wanted to make sure I was on every single branch. And, being a distributor, I'm at the last one. So I feel like I've tested it all. So which is neat because I have so there, and I never left the industry because I don't know anything else. I only know nails, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's all I can do. um, so do it. That's what I keep saying. There's be a nail tech. Please don't walk away. Don't get frustrated. Please don't give up. That's probably like the one thing that makes me so sad, makes me cry when I hear, I can't make it or it's not making me money. There's just don't give up. There's so many things that you can change that are so tiny that can
Mhm.
flip that for you. Um,
Yes.
we're in a phenomenal industry that's growing. We're finally getting the utmost respect.
Mhm.
We're known as professionals now. This is the perfect time to stay in the industry and not leave it.
Yeah.
Our products are getting safer for us and the clients. So this is a great time for us to stay together and bring it back.
Yeah. You
So
know, and another thing in there, so I'm going to plug this again, guys. I teach workshops, you know that. So whether you want to use mine or however it is that you want to get your education on this, know your product cost,
yeah,
know your overhead cost, know your table costs, all of that, because you can't be profitably long term in this industry if you don't know your basics, what you need to earn as a wage, and promote yourself as that package. I have a class starting on Monday. It's a 4-day workshop. It's intense. I don't take this workshop very lightly because we all need this so much. And
right.
so, you have to know this stuff to be profitable, or you're not going to be able to be successful.
Right. Right. So true. Yep.
Yes.
And that's
All
how you
right.
find out how much you are worth. Like I get so many questions. Well, how much should I charge for acrylics in your area? Or how much should you? It's not about that. It's about knowing the cost of what your product is, where you are. You balance that out. And then I take what I'm worth. And, I'm in upstate New York and I'm $75.
Mhm.
I do pedicures from 50 to 100. And again, it's all because I know how much my product is, what I'm using, where I am, my surroundings, it's everything. So I
Yes.
don't think it's fair for anyone to say, well, what should I charge? And I'm in Nebraska. Well, I can't answer you that until you give me a list of certain things.
Yeah, yeah. And it's amazing that a lot of people don't even know where to start that list. And I'm like, do you
Right,
not even turn in your deductions for your accountant and stuff
right.
like that? And they're like, I didn't know what I could deduct. I'm like, you can deduct everything. We can
Everything.
make everything. Every time you go to lunch, give out a business card,
Yeah,
talk to the waitress about doing her nails. tax write-off, just like that. Like,
Right.
so
Yep.
you have to know this stuff to be profitable, and it's a great industry. I love it. And I can say I've definitely had, somewhat of a roller coaster. I've never had any real lows, but I've had a lot of changes and change of products and almost a change of clientele. And about, it's been a year and a half ago, my husband's family's cattle ranchers in the Bighorn Mountains. And I was like, oh, and I knew I'd be moving there someday, but I was like, am I still going to be able to do nails? Because I mean, there's not even a grocery store in this town. There is a gas station that only stays open till 9 o'clock at night. That's it. Like, there's no coffee shops, there's nothing. And I'm like, I don't know that I can survive this. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to build up a studio in my home. I'm going to see how this works out. Full-time clientele in 3 months. And guess what? There's no local newspaper. There's no local Facebook site for it. It really took me uniquely getting out there with advertising, using social media, having a Facebook page that had a portfolio on there, and putting myself out there at our little post office because I knew that was the one location that everybody in this
It would
area
go
had to go
to.
to. It was because we don't get mail to our houses. And so that's how, this is. And so me having always a big salon and having to I don't know,
Vamp, so
redevelop
to speak. Yeah.
myself, revamp myself. Boy, did I grow from that experience. And it helps me be able to come on Tech Talk and help other people that are newbies because, I had to become a newbie again.
Yeah. And I
So,
and I say this to a lot of people that fall into this category with our industry. I got really, really sick and I had to close my salon for almost 3 to 4 months and I couldn't do nails for a long time. And I was basically on my deathbed and I thought, God, this is over. And I lost my whole entire clientele. So I booked weeks and weeks out. And I went to coming back to work to like nobody because everybody had life went on. Even though I was dying, everybody had to live their life, which I
yeah,
get. Um, and you know what? It put me in a whole new spot. And I was like, okay, instead of getting angry that, I had 6,000 people leave me, I went back and said, okay, what else am I supposed to do? So I think that just like you're saying, there's another thing that you were supposed to do.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
God leads you on these paths where we just like, what happened here? Trust. Trust that you're going down the path you're supposed to be on because
hmm,
as much as you're doing what you're doing in your little town, in your little salon, you're touching people around the world.
right, right.
So how much bigger is that than just what you think you're doing? You're touching.
Right.
I mean, you're massaging how many people's hearts right now? I
Yeah.
mean, that's so huge. Like,
Oh. But it comes down to believing in yourself. You
right.
have to believe in yourself and have your faith in yourself because you got to start somewhere and it has to be with you. And so,
Yeah.
like with health and whatever it might be, we have to take care of ourselves so
Right.
that we can project our best self out there. So it's been over an hour, or at least maybe from some time that we connected since this was try number 3. I want to be able to give one giveaway to just randomly to the people that have joined us live.
Okay. Well,
So I
since I
thought what I would.
do you wanna pluck on somebody since I can't seem to?
Okay, so I'm going all the way from the very beginning when you guys were joining on. And I'm not watching, I'm going up and down and up and down and up and down, and who knows if I'm even on the same page. And I'm gonna go here. Teresa Brinkman.
Okay. Oh,
And
and she's crying.
so well, now you have another reason to cry about. So Teresa, you just won one of the giveaways from Cuccio, who was so
And
kind to be able to
because
give
she's
us
crying, I'm gonna
so.
give her the big one.
Oh, that's awesome. So, Teresa,
So she
thanks for
gets the
joining in. I think you've
after
been on
tea
this whole
treatment.
time. Yes, yes.
So, Teresa, just jot down your information either on my website, which is Beauty Biz Supply House, or here, and then I'll get the product out to you.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much,
All right,
Anita,
and
for
then
one, all the giveaways,
you're
tapping into your brain. I'm serious when I say this. I've talked with so many techs, and your knowledge of the products and how to get to that next level is impeccable. It's unparalleled in our industry. You have it, and thank you for sharing that with us. I appreciate that
thank you. And
so
again,
much.
I'm available if anybody wants to inbox me, ask me questions. I'd be glad to help you in any way I can.
Yay! Okay, so with that that being said, on Sunday, I know, so when Anita and I could not join up last Sunday, I just went live and went with it. And one of the members that was on there was Susie Moscow with Nell Career Education with
Yep.
YouTube. And so she came on for a little bit, and we brought in, I don't even remember all the people that joined us on there. And anyway, Susie is my Tech Talk Live for this coming up Sunday, which is just in a couple of days. And we have another giveaway to do on there. You guys, thank you so much for joining in. Thanks for making Tech Talk, your go-to place for education, because that's what this is all about. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything but your time. So
Right.
use us and watch
Use
the
us.
replays and save us. Use us. Get used.
Use it,
Exactly.
use us.
And then, to kind of just give you a little insight of what else is coming up, Max Estrada said yes, and so he's coming on live with me in February. My Valentine this year is Phoenix Van Dyke from Wildflowers and Koopa. Greg Salo said yes from Young Nails. I would love Anita on again and come in, after April when your product launches and tell us a little bit about that. And so, message me who inspires you or who you want to be in here. I can say I have a list of people all the way up into April, and I'm doing these every week, if not twice a week. So I am tapping into the people that you guys are requesting. And so far, I haven't been denied yet. So we're on to something big here, and thank you guys for making this a priority place for you. So I love you guys.
Bye, Ames. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Anita. Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye-bye.